sometimes abuse is hot. One of my favorite things of the last couple of weeks has been watching everybody on Twitter react to the news that the Grisha trilogy and Six of Crows for some reason is being adapted on Netflix. If you know anything about me, it's like I love a good stupid petty fight on Twitter. Like I barely even go on Twitter, but like one of my favorite things is to just scroll through and just watch everybody be like, well, the Darkling was encouraging Elena to use her power by putting a collar on her neck and trying to use her against her will. I don't know, but it's fine. But then everybody's like dragging Mal and they're like, he hated her because he was just jealous. I actually have not thought about this video until like this very minute, I'll be real. But I've been thinking a lot about this lately, and I just think it's so funny to watch people debate like, who's more abusive? Like my favorite game to play. Like when I see people being like, well, if you read the Grisha trilogy, Mal says that he hates how she has powers, and he feels sad because the person that he grew up with is leaving him, which I feel like I would be sad about that too, but like he's abusive because of it. But it's okay because the Darkling he's described as hot, but also he encouraged her to be evil. And he also like took advantage of her and like tried to kill her on multiple occasions, but like, can you imagine, like, in modern day, okay, like, and I'm just using this example because it's, like, relevant. I'm not, like, making a political statement, but if you're telling me if Donald Trump was, like, in his 30s and, like, he had good bone structure, y'all would be down. Would y'all be down for that? Like, is that not the most morally gray thing you've ever heard in your whole life? Like, can you imagine being like, yeah, he wants to build a wall, and yeah, he said some pretty, like, messed up stuff, but, like, have you seen his bone structure? I don't think so. Maybe that's just me. If you want to make a response and just be like, in defense of the Darkling, okay. Like, I remember reading Shadow and Bone for the first time. I was, like, 14 years old, and I was living my best life, being, like, cringy, because that's how things work when you're 14 years old. Because I was reading that book, and then like whatever her name was her name like Baghdadi, whatever her name was, she was like, yo, he's my son and also he's evil. Yeah, I know. And then like she ran away, and then she like found Mal for some reason, and then Mal was like, hey girl. I actually don't remember, I haven't read the book in a couple of years, but she's like, oh, we gotta go get that amplifier before the Darkling can get it because he wants to enslave me, and yikes, I don't want to die. And then like goes up to the stag, and like the stag is out in the middle of the woods. She's like, yo, what's up? I'm out here living my life. Was she gonna kill that stag, or was she just gonna like chop off his little horn? Because if she was gonna kill him, I don't know if I can support her anymore. Maybe people are right with their points about the Darkling, honestly, yikes. But like she's like about to touch the stag or something. Was she about to touch his snoot? I don't remember. She was like about to touch his snoot. Hey Wally, can you come here? He's sleeping. I was gonna get him as an example so I could touch his snoot, but he's like deep sleeping right now. I just don't want to wake him up because then he'll get all wild and I don't want to deal with that. But she's about to touch that stag's snoot, and then all of a sudden he gets shot by an arrow or something, and then he dies. And then the Darkling's like, I thought y'all seen the last of me. I don't think so. And he's coming out of the woods with his bone structure and his dark glowing hair and his beautiful eyes. And then Elena's like, Brick, I'm gonna be enslaved. And then the Mal is just like, actually, I don't remember where he was during that scene, but he's just not really part of it. I just can't imagine reading that scene where the Darkling gets the amplifier, makes a collar for, like, she's a freaking dog, like, what the heck? She makes a collar for her, she's like all chained up, and then I can't imagine reading that and being like, nice, dude, I ship it. Like, I can't, like, my mind is just not feeling it. Like, imagine you're swiping on Tinder and you're like, hey, been in an orphanage and I'm so alone, like, oh, here's a nice attractive person in my area, and you go on this Tinder date and you like kind of hit it off, but they're like kind of mysterious, but kind of like in a cool way, you know, where it's like, I want to know what's going on, I want to get to know you more. I cannot imagine going on that date and being like, okay, maybe we'll go out another time. Like, you seem like a nice person. And then you go on another date and you're like kind of friends, but like you think that like maybe one day we'll be more, but right now we're just kind of in that awkward stage of getting to know each other. You go on another date and then like you're reaching across to like grab like a mozzarella stick or something. In my head, you're at like a pizza place. I don't know why. And then the person across the table grabs you by your neck and they put a collar on you and they say, you're my slave now. I just feel like you could be like the most attractive person in the world and like I'm still not down. You know what I mean? It's not cute at all. And I'm so scared. Like I don't feel comfortable. Like I would be down if he was like, he gets the amplifier and then he's like, Alina, you know what? I care for you and I think together we could make an amazing pair. And if like Alina had this really cool like dark side story, or like she's being used for a book and she does grow in this relationship with the Darkling, but then she realized that he's been lying to her, and then she in the last book swaps back to the sides and destroys the Darkful. Like that would be so powerful. And like she's like, I love the Darkling, but what you did is not okay. You lied to me. And then she abolishes all the darkness and everything's great. Like that would be, I would be down for that. What I'm not down to read about is you put a collar on my neck, but like I guess it's hot. Like I'm not down for that. Not at all. Like I'm not gonna say that Mal is perfect. I feel like he's a very odd character because he's not the best written character. I feel like, I don't know why. He's just like a very like typical bland love interest that I feel like we would definitely see around like the 2013, 2014 timeline. I kind of look at some of the popular books around that time and I'm like, there were some relatively bland like love interest people. Like Edward from Twilight is relatively bland. 4 from Divergent really only has bravery as a characteristic. There's not much to them. They're kind of one-dimensional, relatively flat throughout the whole series. I feel like Mal was kind of like this, but I feel like the reason I've always liked Mal is because he's been alone for his like entire life, right? Like him and Alina were very close growing up and they had nobody else in their life besides the two of them. Like I just imagine like having a best friend and then randomly having that best friend like become like a superstar and then leaving and never remembering you again. Like not that I'm jealous that they're famous, but at the same time it's like we had so many memories together. Like you were my best friend and now I don't even get to hear from you anymore. Like that sucks. So I've always sympathized with Mal because of that, but apparently that's abusive behavior. You know what that actually reminds me of? I haven't actually thought about this too much, but I just realized Darkling is very similar to Jabba the Hutt. Like if Jabba the Hutt was like a 20-something like space pirate, would y'all be down for that or no? Would y'all be down to read about smutty Jabba the Hutt? Cause sadly, I think that people would be down for that. Would y'all be down for that? Oh no, I can't. I am a feminist. I believe everybody has equal rights. But like, if somebody puts a chain around my neck against my will and uses me, like, I'm more than down. And there are so many more examples that I want to think about that trilogy where like, he's like really not a great person, but I just can't get over the collar he makes her wear, you know what I mean? The thing is the Darkling knew that the only person in the entire world that could defeat him was Alina. He knew that he needed to use her against her will, you know what I mean? And that's not cute. Mal isn't perfect. I don't think anybody's perfect, but I feel like by the end of the series, he definitely like grows a lot. Like maybe that's an unpopular opinion. Make sure to drag me in the comments down below. Make sure to smash that unsubscribe button down below. But you know what? Mal never put a collar around her neck. Mal never betrayed her. All Mal did was want to be happy. Some people say Mal just wanted Alina to be weak. But you know what? I don't think that's the case. I don't think he wanted to be the strong one. I just feel like have you ever been in a situation where like you are completely helpless and everybody around you is just better? Like sometimes I'll like play basketball, and fun fact about me is I suck at basketball. So like, can you imagine like playing basketball with a bunch of people that are like pro athletes? Like, Believe it or not, I feel like I would like be a little bit upset about that. Yeah, the Darkling is a really interesting character, but at the same time, it's like, at what cost? You know what I mean? Speaking of He Hit Me, but it's cute. November 9 is a book that I feel a certain type of way about. There's this scene in November 9 where the love interest guy like shows up at this party that the main girl is with, and she's like on a date, by the way. He shows up and they haven't seen each other in like a very long time, and he shows up and he's like, so then she's like, get out of here, like, I'm on a date, like, I don't want to see you, because he, like, cheated on her or something before. It's been, like, 3 years since I read that book, but, so she's like, get out of here, I don't want you to be here no more, and then, like, obviously, as a result of that, they start to make out, and, like, she's mad at him, and she's, like, running away, and then the love interest, like, thinks in his head, it's in his POV, he's like, I want to grab her and throw her onto the ground and hold her there so she can't run away from me. Which is really hot, by the way. Oh my gosh. Let's use a scenario like you're on a Tinder date or something like that. And you're like, okay, like the date isn't going very well, so you do that thing where you're like, oh no, my friend texted me. They need my help, I gotta go. I feel like that's a thing I've seen in a sitcom before, I don't know, but. So you do that, and then the person you're on a date with is like, okay, and then like you're walking outside, and then that person like grabs you, throws you onto the ground, holds you down, and is like, you're not going anywhere, like I just want to talk to you, and you're like, you could have just said that. In what world do you say that that's a cute thing that just happened? Like, I don't know. When I read November 9, I just remember being so absolutely shocked that like within the first 5 pages I was already calling it a big fat yikes. I feel like I've never really talked about that book extensively, mostly because at that point I had never really made like longer reviews or anything like that, which is kind of a shame. But at the beginning of the book, the main character is having a fight with her dad at like some random restaurant, and they're fighting, and then this random dude sits down next to the girl and he's like, this is my girlfriend, hey babe, and all this stuff, and then she just plays along with it because she wants to get like away from her screaming dad or whatever. The big twist at the end is that the love interest like got mad one night and then burned down this girl's house, and then he felt guilty about it. What he had done was tracked down the girl that lived in this house and was trying to make things right with her by like following her to this restaurant or whatever, like couple months or years after he had burned down her house. And so he stalks her, and then he's like, I'm gonna try to get this girl to fall in love with me because I feel so bad. And at the end of the book, that's like the big reveal that like he's evil. And I thought that she was gonna be like, oh my gosh, and this dude was gonna end up in jail. But no, they ended up together and they fell in love, and it ended and they were falling in love. But like if Colleen Hoover would have been like, those things aren't okay, and now he's gonna go to jail because you can't burn down someone's house and just like not have it be a crime, you know what I mean? But like, if you're hot, apparently you can. I don't know why, but it's fine. I've never tried to burn down somebody's house, but I imagine it's not necessarily something that you can get away with very easily and like not have it be a big deal. Like even in a real world situation, like I feel like there have been people who have like burned down people's houses for whatever reason, and you know where those people are? They're in jail. But if you are attractive and you did it because you were sad, and in an attempt to apologize you stalked a person, tried to fall in love with a person, then cheated on that person, and then even though you were like doing some stuff and then she said stop and you kept going, but then she decided that she liked it so it didn't matter, you tell her the truth and then you fall in love and it's okay because he was sad about it. Like what? What? Like I feel like even if I was in a situation where it was like I was in a relationship and then I had found out that that person had been like following me around for like any time beforehand, like I would not be comfortable with that. Like if they were like, I was actually searching for you for a while and that's why I came up to you that one day and that's why we started talking, like I would not be comfortable with that because it's not okay. But you know what? You know what's worse than that? Putting a collar around somebody's neck. If they good looking, who cares? Make sure to unsubscribe. Bye.